Okay, we have a bowl off. Keep going. We have Millie LaFave and somebody else. And we got John Winnick here. They've been doing this thing at the Bowl Mart for 20 years and they ain't got it down yet here. All right. We got a bowl off. We got John Winnick. John, you know everything about these ladies?
Not really.
Just tell us the stuff you can tell us on television.
Okay. All right. I believe we have a 10th frame roll-off due to the fact we had a tie for 5th place. We tied for 4th place? Third and 4th tied? Okay, we had Millie LaFave, who just finished bowling on lane 12, and on lane 11 we have Katie Jeffries, who stuck at the line, but big split, Greek Church. Total of, I believe we had 23 women bowl in this tournament. Top 5 moving on to a stepladder final. Actually, it's a new revised. If anyone has been watching the PBA Tour on ESPN, they changed the format now so that a top qualifier isn't guaranteed at least 2nd place money. So it has the 4th and 5th seed bowling in the first game, then the 2nd and 3rd seed, and the winner of that faces the winner of the 1st seed bowling the winner of the 4th and 5th seed match. So it's a little complicated to understand at first, but it just gives everyone, other than the number 1 seed, a better chance at winning, either 1st or 2nd. And Millie's first ball of the 10th frame, right in the pocket, but she leaves a ringing 7-pin. Sheets.
Do you want that?
Yeah, can I get the sheets still? The handicaps and stuff. Ann Moore was our top qualifier at 680. Tina Guerin qualified 2nd at 663. Millie just missed that spare, so she'll get a total of 18 pins for the 10th frame roll-off. Kay Jeffries and Millie LaFave both tied at 651, and Kendra Hawksby was our 5th place qualifier at 646. Katie's first ball of the 10th. It's good for a strike. And they're each getting a handicap for this, it looks like. Millie was getting 9 pins, Katie was getting 12. So I don't know if they're going to finish, but Katie has already won. Her second ball in the 10th. Gets it a little out. Gets a 4 count. But if she converts this, that'll give her a total of 38. To Millie LaFave's already done 27, so it looks like in the first match we'll have Millie LaFave bowling Kendra Hawksby. That'll bring up Tina Guerin and Kay Jeffries in the 2-3 match. Ann Moore will bowl the winner of the 4-5 match. And Kay finishes with a total of 36 for the 10th frame roll-off, winning by 9. So she will be the 3rd seed. All right, here we are at the beginning of the 2003 Queen of the Hill tournament. If you're just joining us, Millie LaFave just lost a roll-off for 3rd and 4th position to Kay Jeffries, so this will make her the 4th seed. They both tied at 651. Up in the first frame, 7 and 8. She left a 5-pin. And her attempt at the spare is good.
John, I should point out why we're shooting at an angle here. The winner, the top qualifier, gets to choose, and she chose the only 2 alleys and only 2 lanes in the bowling alley that we can't tape from, so we're shooting at an angle.
Yep. And Kendra Hawksby, who qualified 5th. Left a 5-7 split on her first ball. Just didn't get the drive she wanted. For handicap this game, Millie will be getting 47 pins, and Kendra will be getting 59, so a total of 12 pins will be given. And she gets the 5 pin, for a total of 9 in the first frame. How this is going to work is Millie led off with the first frame. Kendra will bowl 2 frames, and then each will alternate with 2 frames until the end of the game. It's the higher qualifier's choice, and Millie elected to go first so that she will finish first. And Kendra's ball is a little bit light. She leaves herself a 7 pin. We had the men's King of the Hill tournament here on Tuesday night this week. Jerry Davison won, defeating his nephew Tyler in the final of that one. Had a good turnout for that, about 29 bowlers, and with the women tonight we had 23, so pretty comparable. And her attempt to spare is good. So she was able to overcome the open and get herself a spare. That'll bring up Millie on lane 8, bowling the second frame. Working on a spare. She can gain 11 of the 12 pins she gave due to the handicap differential with a strike here. This ball out, a little too far to the right, leaving a 1-2-10. Make this spare, she'll have to hit the head pin on the left side, and either drive it directly into the 10 pin, or if she gets lucky, she can kick it off the wall. And she gets the 2 pins. So after 2 frames, we have Kendra Hawksby leading by 5. This is a handicap tournament. The handicap is based on the difference between the bowler's average and 210. Makes it fair for everybody. And her first ball, third frame, crosses over to the Brooklyn side, leaving herself 3 pins. Looks like the 3-5-6. Not too difficult to spare. And her shot at the spare is good. That'll give her a 36 in the third frame, and with her handicap, a total of 83. Kendra Hawksby, she can increase her lead with strike here to 15 pins. Her ball looks good. She's got her first strike of the game. Kendra bowls Thursday nights in the Wyeth Ayers Women's League. She also works here Wednesdays behind the bar. Looking to double here. And it crosses over to a Brooklyn side, sweeping out the 6-10 at the last minute, and she's got herself a double. That'll help her out if she can get a good count in the 5th. She's opened up her lead with a strike in the 5th. That'll keep her lead at about 15 pins if Millie Lefebvre strikes here. And once again, gets it out a little too far, or slowed it down a bit, so it hooked in more than it did the last frame, but she still leaves herself a 2 pin. 1 pin spares often make the difference in these kind of tournaments. And she's got it. The spare, she'll trail by, well, at the moment it'll be, I believe, yep, 16 pins in the 3rd. Could go up to 22, provided if Kendra Hawksby strikes again on lane 8. And she comes in high. Not the easiest spare to make, 6-7. To convert this, she'll have to basically aim for the 10 pin and hope she can slide the 6 pin into the 7. And she gets the 6 pin. Looked like more she was just trying to get the pin rather than make the spare. Safe bet for 1. Kendra on lane 8 looking for a turkey. Her ball hits right at the head pin. Doing a 1-2-4-8. Have to be careful of the 3-8 sleeper. Make this, you want to hit the head pin on the left side. Driving the ball directly into the other 3 pins. Makes it the other way, hitting it right on. With that spare, she's got herself a nice lead. Having trouble, numbers are a little fuzzy. 134 to 101 after 4 frames. Or 110, excuse me. With a strike here, she can increase that lead to 35. After 5. Gets that ball. Once again, drops it to the right of the lane. This time only getting 3 pins. 4 pins, excuse me. Still added to her lead though, as a result of Millie's open frame in the 5th. She leads by 29 after 5 frames. Her attempt at the spare. Hits it a little bit heavy and leaves the 7 pin standing. Which will give her 98 scratch in the 6th with her handicap total 157. Millie will be looking to strike here. Make some of the ground back. So, still struggling on lane 8. A little too much oil on the outside for that shot to work. Leaves herself the 1-2-4. Trying to capitalize here on Kendra's open. With spare and a strike, she can make 10 pins back, and her attempt at the spare is good. Millie also bowls Thursday nights in the Wyeth Air Women's League, and I believe she bowls Fridays in North Bowl. Oh, and I just found out from Kendra's mother that they're on the same team. And on that team, you'll also see, later on, you'll see Tina Guerin, who was our 2nd place qualifier. So well represented here, and Millie gets a strike. And that'll eat into Kendra's lead. Millie now trails by, after 6 frames, trails by 18. And Kendra's first ball of the 7th hits a little heavy, leaving the 4-6-7. This affair is very difficult to make with the 4 and the 6. Probably go for the 2 pins and just cut her losses. Try and bounce back from back-to-back opens. She throws it in the gutter. Not what you want to do. It bounces out, so we'll need a score correction on that. She should have 105 in the 5th. And it's corrected, giving her 164 in the 7th frame. Just throws a good ball. Doesn't quite react the way she wanted. She leaves herself the 9 pin. Shouldn't be too difficult to spare. Still has a possible 185 scratch total. Just give her 242 with her handicap. Should she convert the spare and strike out? And she makes the spare. So she's able to recover from her 2 opens. Kendra's lead is currently, after 6 frames, 18, but with Kendra's open in the 7th and Millie's strike, with a spare she'll knock 10 off, with a strike can knock upwards of, well, at least 10, anywhere from 10 to 20 off the lead. Comes in a little bit heavy, leaving the 6 pin. With a spare here, Kendra's lead will be cut to 5, going into the 9th and 10th frame. And Millie's attempt at the spare needs to hook, and it does. She picks it up. She'll now bowl the 9th frame. As I said, lead now. Both bowlers having spared in the 8th. Looking for a good count here to set herself up well for the 10th. This is the place where both bowlers want to avoid an open spare. She crosses over the Brooklyn side and gets a strike. There's 2nd consecutive on that lane. And I'll give her 179 in the 8th. Kendra with a strike here can keep her lead at 5. That ball, a little bit heavy, but gets a break and snow plows through and gets herself a strike. The only way she can shut Millie out is to get the first 2 strikes in the 10th and a 6 count, as Millie still has a possible 192 scratch, 239 with her handicap. Kendra's first ball of the 10th. A light hit, and it crosses over and takes out the 5 pin. So now Millie will definitely need at least the first 2. Ball here. Crosses over Brooklyn side. And carries. And Kendra with that strike. If she can get, I believe, 6-6-6 here to win, 5 to tie. Well, to force Millie to strike out. 6 here guarantees a victory. And that ball definitely worth 6. Leaving herself the 5-9, and a nice game there for Kendra. 183 scratch. I believe it says 242 with her handicap. Millie here with a strikeout will have 239, so a 5th place finish for her, and $15. Which was the fee of entry. And she throws probably her nicest ball in the match, getting herself a double. So Kendra Hawksby, in her next match, will bowl Ann Moore, our top qualifier. But I believe next on tap we have the 2nd and 3rd place qualifiers bowling, Tina Garrett and Kay Jeffries. Another nice ball from Millie. She's got herself 3 in a row. Close game here. If Millie strikes, it'll be Only 3 pins with both bowlers bowling well over their averages. And the last ball of our first game is a strike. Can't ask for much better than that. Both bowlers having big leads and closing. And then finishing 242 to 239. Kendra Hawksby moving on from our first match, the 4 and the 5 seed. And we're back to the 2003 Women's Queen of the Hill Tournament. Here we have the 2nd and 3rd seed bowling to see who will move on to the finals. Tina Guerin was our 2nd qualifier. Her first ball comes in a little bit heavy, leaving the 6-10. Tina bowls Thursday nights in the Wyatt Ayers Women's League, also bowled Friday nights in the Pizza Hut Fun League, and pretty much you could always find her in most of our Friday night tournaments. And her first shot doesn't hook quite enough, and she opens. That'll bring up Kay Jeffries, who won a roll-off, 9th and 10th frame roll-off with Amelia Lefebvre, who we saw in the last match, to get the 3rd position. Both came in tied at 651. I believe Tina qualified 2nd at 663. And our top qualifier was Ann Moore, who had 680 for 3 games plus their handicap. Kay's ball also hits a little bit high, leaves herself a 6-pin. Kay bowls Wednesday night in the Border Mixed League. Has been for, well, I've been in the league 6 years, and she's been there at least that long. Daughter Paula also bowls in that league. She also bowled tonight. And her spare attempt looks good. Katie looking bowl on her 2nd frame. Trying to get a good count for the spare she got in the first. There's the ball. It's a little bit heavy. The 7-10 split falls down, leaving just the 10-pin. Katie is getting 61 pins a game, and Tina will be getting 64. So we have a close game, only 3 pins separating the 2 in average. Kay shot at the 10-pin. Needs to move a little bit, and it doesn't. She has her first open of the game. Bring up Tina, looking to improve on her open she had in the first frame. Currently trails by 8 pins after 1 frame. And her first ball hits a little bit light, leaving the bucket. 3-5-6-9 spare. Her shot at the spare. Oh, hits just the 2 on the left, leaving the 6 and the 9. There are 2 opens to start this game. Trailing by 9 after 2 frames. She'll be looking to get her first mark here in the 3rd. The ball, a little bit heavy, leaving herself the 4-10. It's a little tentative, not really bowled with Tina in Friday nights last year, and usually her hand finishes a little bit higher than it is right now, so not quite following through, and that's why she's not getting the break on her ball that she wants. Her shot to spare is good. Nice spare, sliding the 4 into the 10. It's her husband cheering her on. Yep, Kay Jeffries looking to bounce back from the missed 10 pin she had last frame. He's up on lane 8. Ball mixes the pins, but doesn't quite manage to knock down the 8 pin. With 3 consecutive 9 counts. Start the game. Leading by 9. And her ball just doesn't quite move at the end, and she barely misses that pin. Looking here to stop the string of opens she started. Get things back on track. And on that ball, she gets a little bit too far to the right, and with that backup style she has, ball slides to the right of the head pin, leaving 4 in the middle. Looks like 1, 2, 8, 9. Her shot at the spare. Doesn't quite manage to hit the 8. Just, the ball didn't hit as direct as she would have wanted it to. The ball could have carried through and taken out the 8 pin, but instead it deflects. And there are 3 consecutive opens. Tina Guerin here with a count of 9 can take the lead. And she gets it. After 3 frames, she'll be leading 99 to 98. With a spare here, she can add on to that total. With Kay opening the last frame. Shooting the 6 pin. Tina also throws a backup ball. And on that spare, she misses. Slides to the right. So we still have a 1-pin game here after 4 frames. Tina with 44 in the 4th, and Kay with 46. But this is a handicap tournament, with Kay giving Tina 3 pins. Thus, Tina has the lead. That ball didn't come back, leaving the 1-3. More oil in the center of the lane, thus the ball may seem to come back further if the bowler gets it outside, on the outside of the alley, but when they get in the middle, it doesn't seem to do much. That's the reason why. And that shot of the spare, she made the adjustment, started the ball more to the right, and converts the spare. With a spare here, Kay can keep Tina's lead at 1. Going into the 6th. We're going to come back from 3 opens. And her first ball, a little bit heavy, and leaves her the 7-10 split. Definitely not the easiest spare to make. Here she'll probably just be looking to get 1. Because it can always come down to that, just 1 pin. Everyone's important in this kind of format. And the ball falls in the gutter. About 2/3 of the way down. And that'll give her 54 in the 5th. After her first frame spare. 2 barely missed spares, and then 2 very difficult ones. Kay will be looking to put the ball right in the pocket, get herself a strike. First ball of the 6th. This is a good ball. Leaves herself a 7-pin. Nothing she could do there. She put it right in the pocket, just didn't get the break. With a strike on her next ball, Tina Guerin can increase her lead to 13 pins, 128 to 115. After 5 frames, Kay's attempted spare is good. Seven mark. Brings up Tina on lane 8. Tina's first ball of the 8th frame. Hits a little bit light, doesn't carry the 5 pin. As opposed to the men's tournament on Tuesday, a lot of the balls the women are using are lighter, generally 14 or 15 pounds, as opposed to the 16-pound ball used by most guys. Deflects a little bit more, so some of those that hit the pocket, like that ball there, and Kay's in the 6th frame where she left the 7 pin, don't get as much action. So we're receiving a lot of 1-pin spares on good hits. So with Tina's spare, gives her 127 in the 5th to Kay's 115. She got herself a 12-pin lead. Looking for a good count here on her spare. Sprays the ball a bit to the left. Leaves a 1-3, 9-10. With her backup ball is ideal to convert this spare. She's looking to hit the 1-3, have the ball drive into the 7, but gets it too far to the right and gets just the 7 pin. Okay, you'll be looking to mark here, not only to decrease Tina's lead, but also gain on the open just thrown by Tina. Comes in a little bit heavy, leaves herself a baby split. 2-7. They'll give her 133 in the 6th. Cut Tina's lead down to 7, gaining 2 pins, I believe. And her attempt at the spare. It looked good, but quite didn't get the kick off the wall. So that'll give her 81 in the 7th. She'll trail by 8. Gain another pin. And that last shot. Looking to build a foundation for the 10th frame here. Ideally a strike, and if not a spare. Opens her body up a little bit. Misses her mark well to the right. And thus only gets 5 pins. Hit herself a 1-2-5, 8-9. Shot the spare, looks good. Oh, ball deflects. Leaves yourself the 5-9. 89 in the 8th frame. With the mark here, Tina can set herself up in a good position to win. And that ball just drops her shoulder completely and throws it in the right gutter. Well, able to laugh about it though. This is for fun. Having some fun at Tina's expense. Looking to improve on that last shot. Doesn't, only gets 5. Well, this will set us up for, it's looking to be like we're going to have another close match here. Tina only leaving, actually I believe it's the same as the last match, with the leader only having a 5-pin lead going into the 9th frame. Tina looking to mark here. That ball right in the pocket. She gets herself a strike. So Kay will be looking to match that. Also coming off an open frame. Currently 150 in the 8th. That ball mixes, and she's got herself a strike. So Tina only has a 5-pin lead. Okay, looking to double here and put some pressure on our number 2 seed. Is that a 3-pin? No, I believe Tina's getting 3 pins in handicap, and she's up by 2 scratch. Bottom says 165 and. Oh no, that's 160. She has. It looks like 8, but it's 160 because she has 142 in the 7th and the 8 count in the 8th. So that 7 count, that gives her 174. Tina's still having the bowl. With a spare and a strike, excuse me, here. She can finish with 129. And with her 61 pins of handicap, will give her a total score of 190. That ball picks off the head pin. She'll finish with a 115. Not her best score. She'll finish with 176. Tina here with a 6 count. She needs 6 pins on 2 balls to win. Gets 3. I'll give her 171. She'll need to get 3 more if she wishes to move on. Not trying to make this bear here, just hit the head pin and get out of here. Where she'll winner here guarantees himself a spot in the finals. And that ball, right down the middle, gets 4. And we had another close one. Tina Guerin winning 179 to 176. So the handicap was the difference as both bowlers tied with a 115 scratch, but Tina, since her average is 3 pins lower, gets 3 more pins handicap. So Tina Guerin moving on from the 2nd and 3rd seeded match to the finals with a 179-176 victory. Oh, we're starting here with our top qualifier and more. Bowling on lane 8. Comes in a little bit heavy, leaving herself the 4-7. And was the, as I said, was the top qualifier with a 680 total with her handicap. She'll be getting 51 pins a game. And hopefully they erase the score on lane 7 before Kendra starts, but it doesn't look like they're going to. And Kendra Hawksby, our 5th place qualifier, throws a strike in her first frame. She'll be up on the 2nd. Here we had the winner of the 4 and 5 match, bowling our top seed, who will move on to face Tina Guerin in our finals of the Queen of the Hill. Kendra getting 59 pins total in handicap. Almost gets a break, but leaves herself the 10 pin. So yeah, Anne will be giving Kendra a total of 8 pins here. Oh, Kendra misses that spare to the left. That'll bring up Ann Moore on lane 7. Ann is the, I believe, the secretary of the Champlain Women's Merchant League that bowls here on Tuesday nights. In high, leaving the 6, 9, 10. And she gets the spare. The loser here will receive $35 as a tie for 3rd and 4th place. Which Kay Jeffries, who just lost to Tina Guerin, will also get. Comes in right on the nose. Probably not what, definitely not what you wanted, leaving the 6, 7, 10. Looking to get 2 here. Gives it a good shot, chopping the 10 pin right off the 6. That'll give her a total of 84 in the 3rd frame. Kendra here looking to bounce back from the missed spare of the last frame. A little bit light, leaving a sleeper. 2-8. Kendra was our 5th qualifier with 646, so it was very close here with only 34 pins separating the number 1 and number 5 seeds. Each bowler bowled 3 games across 6 lanes to get the chance to bowl for the Queen of the Hill, and Kendra makes a pretty difficult spare. She's going to be up in the 4th. With a strike here, she can add her bumper lead up to 23. Throws a good ball, leaving the 10 pin. Leads by 22 after 3 frames, 106.84. So as I said, there was only 34 separating our 1st and 5th qualifier. And special word to Wiener Roberts, who was our 6th qualifier, who had the high game in qualifying of 229. Scratch. And Kendra makes a spare. So I know Beener only finished 3 pins out, and I believe the next 3 or 4 were only within 10 pins of that, so he was very competitive up to the last game here. That ball misses the head pin to the left, to the right, excuse me, leaving the 1, 2, 4, 5. Oh, excuse me. Yep, 1, 2, 4, 5. And she puts that ball almost in the exact same spot, hitting just the head pin, giving her a total of 91 in the 4th frame. With a strike, Kendra Hawksby can increase her lead next frame to 26-35. That ball hits a little bit light, leaving the 3 pin. After 2 consecutive opens, she'll be looking to spare here. And she converts. Tugs that ball to the left. Nasty looking spare. 1, 3, 6, 8, 10. Be careful here not to punch through the nose if he hits the head pin too directly. She'll take out the 8, but won't cover the 6 and the 10. And on that shot, went for the 4, but didn't get the pin to slide into the 8. Difficult spare to make. After 4 frames, Kendra leads 121 to 91. Ball here hits a pocket, but ball deflects, leaving the 5-8. And she gets her spare. And Kendra has 130 in the 5th with a strike here and can cut Kendra's lead to 19. And still looking for her first strike of the game. And that ball misses the head pin to the left, leaving a 139. Still, she did cut into Kendra's lead, decreasing it to 22 after 5 frames, 130 to 108. And her attempt to the spare is not good. She leaves the head pin standing. Know what she wanted there, and I believe they need a score correction. On lane 6, it gave her 7 and 1. She got 7 and 2. I'll let someone know. They need to correct the score. It gave her 7 and 1. Yep. Get that fixed. Comes in a little bit heavy there, leaving the 310 baby split. Either slide the ball right between them, or she can hit the 3-pin on the left side. But she opted for the gutter, which isn't usually the best way to make it, and results in another open frame. Kendra here with a spare in the 6th. The strike can get her lead back up to 34, in addition to whatever she can gain on her 7th frame mark. Hands open. That ball crosses Brooklyn, but leaving a 5-pin. Not a bad spare, right in the middle of the alley, only 1 pin. One of the easier ones to make. Spare here will give her a chance to increase her lead to over 40 pins. And she's got it. So with marks in the 6th and 7th, and opens for Ann Moore in the same frame, Kendra Hawksby's getting to open her lead up even more. Strike here can stretch it to 44 pins. First ball of the 8th frame. Hits a little bit light, gets a break. Gets a pin to kick off the wall, hit the 4, which slides into the 5. Give her a total of 169 in the 7th. And Moore currently has 125, so she's going to make a move. She's going to have to do it now. And with that shot, looks good. Leaves the 5-pin. Well, she's definitely going to need to mark here. And her shot spare is good. And looking to strike here in the 9th frame. Gets a break, but still leaves herself a 5-pin. Giving her 144 in the 8th. Trailing by at least 35. Possibly more if Kendra can double in the 9th. Gets the spare here. Best she can do is 194. Kendra Hawksby already having 179. I believe a 8 count on this ball can pretty much sew things up with a frame to go. That ball looks good. A double in the 8th and 9th for Kendra. And to finish here, she can finish with 3 in the 10th with a 200 game scratch. Which will give her 259 total score. She will move on to face Tina Garrett, our number 2 qualifier in the final. Kendra doing well to move up from the 5 spot. Give yourself a chance at the championship. Comes in a little bit heavy, leaves a 310 baby split, as we saw Ann Moore leave before this game. And her shot at the split. Hooks over. Slides the 3 into the 10. Strike here, she can finish with 178. Scratch score. For a total of 237 with her handicap. Kendra averages 144 on Thursday nights. Also bowls in the Casino Fun League in Plattsburgh, I believe. Finishes with a 7 count and a scratch game of 175. And with her 59 pins handicap, finishes with 234. Ann Moore finishing things out in her 10th frame. That was a good ball. Hits the head pin a little too light. Leaves the 3-5. Spare and a strike here. Give herself a total of 182 with her handicap. High ball. She gets the spare. They'll finish with 131 scratch. I believe under average. I believe it's about 152 or 153. And she, along with Katie Jeffries, will finish with a tie for 3rd and 4th, each receiving $35. And with that ball, she'll finish with 130 and a score of 181. And our 2003 Queen of the Hill finals will be 2 seed Tina Guerin versus 5 seed Kendra Hawksby. And here we have the final of the women's 2000 Bowl Mart Women's 2003 Queen of the Hill tournament. Tina Guerin, our 2nd place qualifier, up on lane 7. It's a ball a little bit left of the head pin. Leaves herself the 1-3-9-10. They might not have been a little bit, but since our top qualifier picked the championship pair of 7 and 8, we're kind of sitting at an angle. So my perception's a little bit off. I was told that ball wasn't even close by Myrtle Hawksby, who has been squeezing my leg the whole time, trying to make me screw up. And now she looks like she wants to kill me, but oh well, that's the price you pay. Her daughter Kendra was our 5th place qualifier, able to beat first Millie Lefebvre in the 4-5 square off, and then top qualifier Ann Moore to position herself in the finals. And her first ball of the finals, a little bit heavy, but she gets a break and gets herself a strike. Kendra looking to double here. Tugs the ball to the left. Leaves a 1-3-6. And Kendra here will be giving Tina, I believe, gets a total handicap 59 per game. Tina getting 64, but giving her 5 pins in average. Kendra's attempt at the spare is good. After 1 frame, Kendra Hawksby leads 79-70 with a mark in the 2nd. Tina will be looking to rebound from her open frame in the 1st. First ball in the 2nd. Does the same thing. Gets 5. Getting the ball too far to the right. And with that backup style, it's not even giving itself a chance to hit the head pin. Looking here to spare to keep Kendra's lead at 9. Pulling into the 3rd frame. And that ball will get none. Pretty much in the same spot. A little bit of a struggle here at the beginning for Tina. Bowled well over average to qualify second. Struggled a bit last game. And that ball's a little bit better. Mixes, not the easiest spare. Leaves the 4-5. Tina has her own cheering section. Giving a little bit of a hard time. Here are a couple guys. Tina keeps score for the Bowl Mart softball team, on which her husband Lee plays, and 2 or 3 of the guys on that team are having a little bit of fun with her. Chops that spare. So starting out with 3 opens. Kendra Hawksby looking here for 3 marks to begin her game. Strike here can give her a lead of 24 after 2 frames. That ball, good location, but wasn't really driving, leaving the 5 pin. But I'm sure she'll take it, as the 8 and 10 fell last. Should be an easy conversion right up the middle. And drops her shoulder a little bit. Misses the spare well to the right. But still, after 3 frames, she leads by 23, 107 to 84. First ball here in the 7th frame. In the 7th lane, excuse me. Looks good. And she gets herself a 2nd strike of the game. Brings up Tina Guerin in lane 8, looking for her 1st mark of the game. Is that ball a little too far to the left? No happy medium here. Leaving the 1-3. Oh, I was just informed Tina Guerin was our Queen of the Hill last year. I didn't know that. Looking to defend her title. Then she gets her 1st spare.
Kendra ever one? Have you ever one? Have you ever one? How many times?
Tina Guerin here. Looking to match Kendra's strike. Won't do it. Gets herself 7 pins. Which will give her 101 in the 5th. Or 101 in the 4th, excuse me. Kendra currently at 117 with a strike. Needs a spare here to keep things close. That looks good. And she gets herself, so after a shaky start of 3 opens, Tina has 2 spares in a row. Kendra Hawksby looking to double here. Tugs the ball left of the head pin and leaves herself a 7 pin. Good hit. And the ball hangs on to hit the 7. After 4 frames, she leads 127, 101, 26 pins. Looking for her 3rd consecutive strike here on the left lane, lane 7. Or no, sorry, she had a spare in the 2nd. Looking for 2 strikes in a row. It was a good ball, a little bit heavy, leaves herself 4 pin. Another 1 pin spare. So 146 in the 5th. And her shot at the spare is good. 3 marks in a row for Kendra after that missed 5 pin on lane 8. Tina Guerin looking for her 3rd mark in a row. It's a little bit light, leaves herself another 4-5. Same split she left in the 3rd frame. Trailing by 27 after 5 frames. 146, 119. Nope. And gets the 4 pin. Tina getting quite a hole here. If Kendra strikes in the 7th, she'll trail 166, 128 by 38 pins after 6 frames. Ball there. Looks good. She gets herself her first strike of the game. Up. Kendra Hawksby. Bowl the 7th frame on lane 8. Instead with a strike here, she'll increase her lead to 36 pins. That ball rolling well. Hits heavy, leaves herself 4-6. Still leads by. Oh, it could have been 38 pins. 36. Looking to get one here. And she gets the 6 pin. Ginger here looking to bounce back from that, which was only her 2nd open of the game. Throws, gets her ball well right of her target. Then gives herself
189.
Looks like the 189. Tricky little spare here. Kendra gets the ball exact same spot she put the first one. And with 2 opens in a row, she's giving Tina Guerin a bit of a chance here. 180 in the 8th. Tina can double here. She can cut into Kendra's 35+ pin lead. I believe it's 36 after 6 frames. And that ball is well right and throws it in the gutter.
Shake it off, Tina. Come on. Shake it off.
A little harder spare, Tina.
Not yet.
The ball's better, but still right at target. Getting 7 pins in the strike. She will decrease Kendra's lead, but not the way she wanted to. A strike there could have made things pretty interesting. She still trails by 28 after 8 frames. She'll have to get some good fills in the 9th and 10th and hope Kendra Hawksby opens. That ball missed the head pin. Right of target. Leaves herself the 1, 2, 4, 8 spare. She'll need to convert this to force Kendra Hawksby to mark in either the 9th or 10th. That ball well right of target again. Gives her a total of 94 scratch in the 9th. 158. Kendra Hawksby here with 8 pins can shut Tina Guerin out. in 2 frames. 7. So looking to spare here. She needs to bowl a 144 this game to have bowled all 6 of her games over her average, which is what is usually needed to win the Queen of the Hill. And she misses the spare, hitting just the 4-pin. But I believe that's enough. She'll need to get 1 pin here in the 10th frame to win. Otherwise, if she throws 2 in the gutter, which probably won't happen, Tina Guerin can strike out for a tie and force a 9th and 10th frame roll-off. And there she is, the 2003 Queen of the Hill. Leaving the same spare she left last frame. She'll just have to finish up. Currently has 195 total score in the 10th, with a possible 208 remaining with a spare and a strike. And she does the same thing, chopping off the 4-pin. That'll be enough, giving her a total scratch total of 137, 196 with her handicap. Tina Guerin, after winning last year's Queen of the Hill tournament, will finish 2nd this year and take home $65. That ball in the pocket, leaving the 5-pin. Kendra Hawksby, this is her first Queen of the Hill victory. She'll go home with a $100 first place prize. And her name on, which hopefully will be here by next year, a plaque of all the previous King and Queen of the Hill winners, dating back to the beginning of the tournament over 20 years ago. Tina misses that spare, only bowls a 103, total of 167 with her handicap. And our 2003 Queen of the Hill is Kendra Hawksby. I'm John Winnick from the Bowl Mart. Thanks for watching. And here we have our presentation of awards. $60 for 2nd place to Tina Guerin, the defending champion, and for her first place finish from qualifying in the 5th position, Kendra Hawksby with her first Queen of the Hill victory.
That was actually that gift, Calvin.
Thank you. I'm John Winnick from the Bowl Mart at the 2003 Women's Queen of the Hill tournament. Thanks.